Hey guys, welcome back to another very exciting Star Wars news update. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And oh my goodness, we have something of a shocking Star Wars movie update. But surprisingly, it's not for the Mandalorian and Grogu, it's not for the Rey movie, it's for the untitled Shawn Levy movie. And apparently guys, it's just been moved up. This is the next Star Wars movie to go into production. But more important than this, the big news of the day, Ryan Gosling is in talks to star in it. There were rumours a couple of months ago that Shawn Levy wanted to cast an A-lister he knows. Many assumed Shawn Levy was going to hire Ryan Reynolds and not Ryan Gosling. But similar to Deadpool and Wolverine, which Shawn Levy also helmed, Star Wars needs a similar box office win. And you know what guys, this casting announcement just makes the entire movie seem more legit. Seem like it's actually gonna happen, and isn't just another movie Lucasfilm is gonna scrap. Ryan Gosling is a huge name. La La Land, Blade Runner 2049, Barbie, not to mention he is a 3-time Oscar nominee. And to be honest guys, say what you will about A-listers in the Star Wars universe, this casting announcement is probably gonna get a lot of butts in seats. And you know, had this report come out a few years ago, I probably would have been more skeptical than I am today, because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, go for it. Why not? For one thing, they confirmed the Shawn Levy movie is going to be a standalone. It's a one-off. It's not going to be part of a trilogy as far as we know, and I don't think it has any ties to Rey or the wider Skywalker saga. Insider Jeff Snyder chimed in and said he's heard the movie is set after the Rise of Skywalker. I have to wonder if they're setting up the next big hero or villain of the post-Episode 9 galaxy. We also now know filming is set to begin this autumn, so I say go for it. And on the debate of should they be casting A-listers in the galaxy far, far away, I'm gonna put my hands up in the air and say this. I love Skeleton Crew, but when the show was first announced, I was very apprehensive about Jude Law starring in the Star Wars universe. But look how that turned out. He nailed the complexities of Jod Narwood. He was fantastic. So you know what guys, you can say that your favourite galactic hostess has lost her marbles and is foolish, but I'm going into this movie with an open mind. At this stage we just don't know anything about it. I know there are fans who already don't like this decision, and fair enough. Certain A-listers are just too distracting for a new character in something like Star Wars. That's how fans felt about Jack Black or Lizzo. But until we know for certain Ryan Gosling's role in the movie, I would say it's preemptive and premature to bash this casting choice. I should just set the record straight though guys, and this comes straight from the Hollywood Reporter themselves. In light of speculation of fans saying, is he gonna play Kyle Katarn? Is he gonna play, I don't know, Ben Skywalker from Star Wars Legends? The answer is no. They say this, while it's uncertain if Shawn Levy's movie concerns Jedi or Sith, it is believed to be unconnected to the Skywalker saga and not related to beloved characters or established stories. And remember guys, apart from one or two exceptions with what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are doing, I don't think Lucasfilm is interested in adapting the expanded universe stories. Because I'm already seeing tons of fans speculate on the character who Ryan Gosling might be playing. The chances are, my dear friends, it's an entirely new character that we've never heard of, that only exists in Shawn Levy's script and is only known by a handful of people at this stage. And the report goes on to say this. Sources said the Gosling development was a late in the game move. And here's a fun fact we didn't know. Back in 2013, J.J. Abrams tried to snag Ryan Gosling for The Force Awakens, but the deal fell through. It is also noted details on the movie are very hard to come by. But Star Wars Celebration is in 2.5 months. And that's when I think we're gonna get maybe a title for the movie, maybe a running title, and a massive cast announcement. Ryan Gosling is the first name, so more information coming soon I would think. And if you would just permit me one small pun, do you reckon he's playing Ken Obi? You get it? It's terrible, I know. So moving on to some other Star Wars news. Some bad news if you were hoping we were going to get some kind of animated show about Luke, Han and Leia after episode 6. I've always said, instead of doing the deepfake thing every now and then, I think they should do something in animation. Something in the 3D style of the Bad Batch and the Clone Wars, but just centering on our heroes from the original trilogy. Han, Chewie, Leia, Luke. And it means you don't have to recast or do CG for the Mandoverse. Well, it turns out Lucasfilm is going to tell those stories, but not in animated form, not in live action, not in any on-screen media, but instead a new comic run. If this was a decade ago, if this was when there was enormous hype, then I would say this is pretty exciting. But I think I speak for a lot of fans when I say this might not be too great. They seem to love retconning some of their novels, especially with the Battle of Jakku comics. And since the 2015, 2017 and some of the 2020 Vader comic run, Star Wars comics have really disappointed me time and again. So while this is being branded as the canon version of a time period very well explored in the expanded universe, the New Republic, I'm kind of nervous of what they're going to do with our heroes. But at the same time, there is so much apathy towards new Star Wars lore content that I don't really know how many fans genuinely care about this. But you know what? I'll give them a read. I'll probably review them. I'll let you know if anything major happens. But I would say there's a pattern with Star Wars when they make new comics. It tends to rule out future on-screen content for those characters. Not in every single case, but there is a trend. That was definitely true of the Kira trilogy. We were hoping she would appear in the Book of Boba Fett or somewhere else in the Mandoverse, and she is alive after episode 6, and apart from an appearance in Star Wars Outlaws and her own book, she hasn't come back in a major way after those comics. I strongly believe Lucasfilm wants to prioritize the Rebels characters for the Mandoverse, and tell the stories of the original trilogy characters during this time, the years before The Force Awakens, in the comics. Does that mean they're not going to show up in the Mandoverse again? No. But I certainly think it's a bad sign for fans who wanted an animated show. This is the format they're going to use to tell those stories. And so finally, my dear Megalorians, as you guys know, Star Wars The Acolyte was cancelled after one season. The viewership just wasn't there, and it didn't justify the high budget. But we do know that there are going to be 2 spin-off novels coming this year, one on May 6th and the other on July 29th. And they've revealed an official synopsis. I've just got a hunch the book might be better than the show. The first novel is called The Acolyte Wayseeker by Justina Ireland. This book is an adult novel, whereas the second one, The Crystal Crown, is young adult. And here is now the official synopsis. Before the Acolyte, Vernestra Rwoh must find her place in the Jedi Order. She spent over a decade exploring the Outer Rim as a Wayseeker, answering to no other authority but the Force itself. When a request from the Jedi Council orders her back to Coruscant, Vernestra initially refuses, feeling that her first priority should be to the beings she's already serving. But after Jedi Knight Indara arrives, asking for Vernestra's aid, the Jedi Master finds herself pulled back into Coruscant's complicated world of Republic politics and underworld crime. As the two delve deeper into their investigation and the lines between the Jedi and Republic business blur, Vernestra must reconsider what it means to serve for light and life. So there's going to be a lot of High Republic stuff, and you guys know that's not really my cup of tea, but they're trying to give context to the Acolyte, and moreover, the political situation 100 years leading up to the Phantom Menace. And the only reason I'm somewhat interested in this is Master Indara, who didn't have much screen time in the show, was my favourite part of it. She was one of the most fascinating characters, and because she died so early on, we never saw her relationship to some of the other Jedi. So knowing there was some pre-established history between Vernestra and Indara, this book might add a darker dimension to the Acolyte. But like I say, it's not usually my cup of tea. There's a chance this story is much more coherent than the Acolyte. But what do you guys think? Share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.